hell out of me.
Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Welcome to the Unpopular Playground podcast, where Jenn Lin and Debbie will help you navigate life's twists and turns and rock your world by the time you're 30.
And welcome back to the Unpopular Playground. I'm Jenn Lin.
And I'm Debbie, and it's nice to see you back again.
And we are on to our question and answers from people within our community. People have been chiming in, and we're finally going to answer some of those questions here. A lot of them we've answered on the podcast already on many of our past episodes. So we'll probably make reference. We'll give a few short answers of what we can. But most of it, the nitty gritty, is going to be within our other podcasts. So the first one, so we're just going to get right to it.
Good.
The first one is how much money do I actually need saved? That's a popular. That's a really popular one. You know, we did one on finances.
Yes.
And really, they're all kind of connected. So, I mean, one thing leads to another because it depends on, because you need a car, you need savings for a car, you need savings for that, but it just depends. I'm going to make reference back to the other podcasts on that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? But the general is 3 to 6 months worth of what you need to live out for 3 to 6 months, at the very least 3 months worth.
At least.
Think about everything, every expense that you could probably think of, which we also discussed in the past podcast, times 3. Think about it for what you needed for 1 month and times that by 3. 6 is better. So that's how I would answer that. And there's something that I found that's kind of cute that I just happen to have been going through. It's really weird. The synchronicities on things that I'll read or YouTubes that I watch seem to come right in line with our podcast, which I think is awesome. Just so cool. It said squirrel away at least 3,000 to 5,000 before you go to your fund, your emergency fund. So $3,000 to $5,000 if you want an actual dollar amount. So but go back and watch the podcast. Go back and watch the other podcasts. We did one on just about everything that you need for moving.
Tells you what it's going to cost and how much you need to figure out. First month, last month rent. So I mean, you know.
And that question was from somebody that lives in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And this question comes from here on the West Coast, actually in California.
Okay.
How do I find a good place and roommate?
Well, we tackled that one on housing. We gave you all the information on different organizations and places that you can go and find out and how you can, weed through a good place, a good roommate.
We did go through that. We discussed on how to find a good roommate.
What to do. Roommate from hell, and then and how to deal with that, and but all these things, and that was in a podcast not that long ago on Housing 101.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what I could say for now, a good place to start is apartments.com, Zillow, and maybe even your college or your local colleges will have like a roommate section if you're deciding that route. And sometimes
if you're in college, that's the thing. If you're not going to college, then
most colleges are still on campus that you could go look at their board. I guess that's what I'm saying.
A lot of times churches, if you're involved with your church, somebody in the church may be renting out a room or whatever. So,
And ask around. You can ask around. Is anybody looking for a roommate? I would start there. I can tell you for safety purposes, I would start there than over
Mm-hmm.
Craigslist or Facebook or anything on social media.
Yeah.
Roomies.com is another good one. I've found a lot of good places, rooms to rent for that.
Okay.
So, so I'll just, again, we're probably going to be making reference just moving forward to the
Right.
other podcast because, yep, we covered that one too.
That was in our May podcast.
There we go. Okay, third question. I just picked out 10 questions, and
Okay.
you know, and we can always answer more later. Some of them, if we need to put into a video because we didn't cover it,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do that. So this is our third question, um, and this one is from Michigan. What expenses am I probably forgetting? Um, we had a podcast on that too with utilities.
Yes, we
Where we
did.
talked about things, and they were in various things because everything costs money, from your car, your housing,
Right.
insurances, all of these kind of things, and your food. I mean, everything that it costs to live. It might be what you're forgetting that you don't think about, but probably the big one that's not considered, I would say, is utilities, insurance, and your groceries. A
Yes.
lot of people don't think, a lot of people, I think those are the top three for things that people forget to account.
Yeah.
They think they're rent, but you don't think about keeping the lights on, or that you
Right.
have to eat.
Or that you have to pay renter's insurance and stuff,
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah,
yeah.
they make you pay insurance, um, and utilities. You got to have lights on, and you got to eat. Oh yeah, I got to eat. So people forget to include those things. Go back and watch the podcast. We do
Exactly.
cover that. All right, question 4. How do I deal with parents who aren't ready for me to leave? Now that's a new one.
That sure is.
That's a
Well,
new one.
let me
I
give
didn't think
you
about
let me
that.
give you an answer. My thing is when my child can come to me and say, I'm ready to leave and go out on my own, I want to know, okay, how much money do you have? Where are you planning on going? I want you to come to me and prove to me that you have deeply looked into this and researched this, and it's not just a, I'm moving out, because that is never going to work because you're just moving out of retaliation or whatever else. But
Yeah,
if
isn't
you
that
come to me and prove to me that you have researched this and you know exactly what you're doing and where you're going and that it's a good decision that you're making, that's the best way to approach your parents. And then because they really can't fault you if you have all the information and if they ask you things and you can readily answer the question, you know, then you're proving that you're trustworthy, you've checked things out. And as a parent, I would be more than willing to be like, okay, I'll rely on your ability to check into this and see and whatnot. But also a good parent will tell you, look, if something happens and it doesn't work, you can always come back. I never
right?
like I never like the idea of like, well, once you go, you're out on your own. I don't like that because then when
No,
something
I don't
happens,
either.
kids are left,
I've had
like
to
how
go
am I
back.
going to do things? Yeah, it's
I've
like
had to
no,
go back. Well, you know what's funny, Debbie, is when my son said he wanted to go live with that cult commune,
yeah,
meaning his other friends from high school, they were just gonna, I'm just gonna go live with them now. And and I said, are you sure you really want to do this? Have you thought about the implications and everything? I mean, I asked him, I was like, do you have a plan for all of these things?
yep,
I'm gonna go anyway. And I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna I said, because I would rather have you help you to get on a place solid by yourself. I mean, I was willing to help him do all the work and stuff like
right,
that, but he insisted on going. But here's what I said. Um, but when you come back, it's going to be different.
yeah, oh yeah,
And And he goes, "What makes you think I'm going to come back?" I said, "Oh, baby, they always come
They
back.
all come back.
They all come back. They
Yep.
all come back."
Yep.
You know, and I mean, it's really, if you're just thinking to, and I would venture to say that 50%, as high as 50% of people that leave home, kids that leave home, do it without thinking, out of
Right.
retaliation. And it's no different than when you're 5 and you say, "I'm moving out,"
Right.
and you start packing your
I'm
things
running
and
away
and
from
just
home. Yeah.
and just and just walk out with your little suitcase packed. I mean, that's about what it is. And that's how
Yeah.
ridiculous it is to think about moving out without a plan and without having all these things. And, like you said, Debbie, a plan to show that you budgeted, that you're chosen a safe area, that you're going to keep in regular contact, and and to frame it as growing up.
Hmm.
Reframe it. We just talked about reframing in the last episode. Reframing that you're growing up. You're not moving away. You'll still visit, probably to do your laundry, because if you have to go to the laundromat, who wants to? Laundry's expensive to wash now, and that's what I did. I went to grandma's house to do my laundry. Went to mom's house, but it was a nice excuse to. She loved it because I. It was a nice excuse to go back home and visit because it was kind of like a nice little anchor for
Yeah.
mom and dad to have, to be able to go visit, to know that, check in, how's things going.
Yeah.
Um, you
But
know,
that's it.
have
Just
an
prove to
occasional
them.
dinner.
Yeah. Prove to your parents that you've made a conscious decision. That's what a parent wants to hear. You've made a conscious decision, not you're just flying by the seat of your pants. And you know,
That was a good question. That was
yes,
a
it
good
was.
question. Yeah,
Next.
that one was out of Washington.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a couple on the West Coast.
I see why you
Okay,
want to
so,
get out of there.
I know, right? All these cold weather places.
I know, right?
Speaking of cold places, this next one's out of New York.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
and what if I feel lonely or overwhelmed? That's a new one too. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody, when the first time you go out on your own, is going to feel lonely and overwhelmed. You've gone from leaving the nest where you had, a family, whether you had both parents and aunts and uncles and a bunch of cousins and brothers and sisters, and now you're on your own. But I mean, and through life you go through this. I mean, you have marriages, the marriage breaks up, you're on your own. You have, you're married for a long period of time, somebody dies, you're on your own. There's always going to be times in your life where you're going to be on your own that you didn't figure into the equation of your life, like, oh, I didn't realize I was going to be alone at this point. Blah, blah,
Here's
blah.
one. You have kids and they move away. You're
Yeah.
on your own.
Oh, but that's a happy on your own. That's a happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
But
help. No,
yeah,
I help them
when
pack. I help mine
you
pack.
you just you realize you are it's going to be a whole different ball game, and it's a whole new lifestyle that you'll have to get used to. But you know what, you move out and stuff like that. If you're working, you're going to have friends. There's always the phones, there's always your car. Nobody in the family is not going to turn against you. You can always go visit. Just keep all communication open. Don't ever burn any bridge behind you when you leave. And
Yeah, hold on to your
yeah,
friends.
and feeling overwhelmed. Yes, I mean, you'll feel like that whether you're out on your own. I remember when I first got married, and I was used to, when I wanted something, I had it growing up. And then the first time that my husband was like, well, we can't afford that this week, I was like, what? Oh, no, then I don't want to be married anymore. I like when I could just get whatever I want. And it's like, yeah, because it was a whole new way of living. You didn't know about budgeting and overwhelming. It's like, well, yeah, but we got to do this, this, and this. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, okay. But you
I
make
gotta
do.
be an adult now.
Right, right. And you realize that you made this decision, and okay, so now you got to deal with it.
Well, yeah, because you will feel overwhelmed because you're doing everything. You're adulting. At least you think you're adulting on your own,
Right.
but you're not, because you have me. and you
You
have
have,
Debbie.
yeah, and you've got a support system. I mean, I don't really know very many families that throw you out, and put you out to pasture. I mean,
There's also local clubs.
yeah,
Go, take a hobby. They have like jujitsu. You can take a
yeah,
martial art,
yeah.
dancing, group dancing. They have paint and sips. Go to a paint and sip, um, or host your own. Thanksgiving, they have friendsgivings where you don't have it with family, you have it with friends, and you get together. So
Yeah, it's,
that's that.
you know, I mean, it's, you're always going to have periods in your life where you're going to feel lonely or overwhelmed, regardless if it's the first time you've moved out of the house or, 10 years later or three children later. It's all going to hit you at some time or another. And those are where the coping skills that we discussed in our podcast, that's what helps you get through those.
1,000,000%. Now I'm looking over these questions. Some of them are the same. So I'm gonna and to save on time or whatever, I'm not gonna do the repeat
Oh, thank you.
questions. Yeah. So this one, realistic monthly budget. We talked about that. It's just
Right.
asking in different ways, basically the same thing.
Right.
Uh, how do I find a decent, safe apartment? We talked about that.
Housing
In
101,
housing,
May
and
podcast.
and what should I look for in a lease agreement? Again, the
Housing
housing
101. Yep.
that uh, cover the roommate. Um, yeah. Let's see. How do I set up utilities in my name? Now
Okay.
that's a very specific one.
Yeah.
What would you have to say about that, Debbie?
Well, now you got to realize too, when you're setting up utilities in your own name, you have to have some sort of credit because they are going to want either a credit card to revert back to or a checking account number. So you can't just go and get a place and then go and say, okay, I want to turn on the electricity here in my name. And they'll be like, okay, well, do you have, you have a credit card? No, it's like you can't rent a car if you don't have a credit card. Do you have a banking account? Yes, I do. Okay, well, then you can give them your checking account number and, they'll verify all the information before they're going to turn the bill, before you're going to generate a
Oh,
bill for you to have your utilities. So make sure you have, and a lot of times they're going to want, especially if it's your first time ever having utilities in your name, they're going to want a substantial, usually what a 1 month bill will be. They're going to
mhm.
want that up front so that, when
Right.
you don't pay, okay, they can shut you off, but they still have your money in that.
They
So,
still have their
um,
money. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so
and here's
establish
something a lot
credit
of people
before
don't
you do anything. Yep.
And a lot of people don't think about what you need also is a couple pieces of mail. Sometimes they make two. They want a couple pieces of mail proving that you have mail coming to that address.
Right. Right.
The lease agreement, a couple pieces of established mail.
Yeah.
Even if you mail a letter to yourself,
Well, that's
that can.
where if you have a bank account or a credit card, your bank account statements will come to your house. Your credit card bills will come to your house, rather than having them all show up on your phone. So you do have stuff there. But it's really hard to get when they ask you, okay, well, you need to bring in like utility bills to prove. Well, how can I bring a utility bill because I just moved here and I need a utility to be turned on? So use your
Right.
bank accounts, use
So
your
it's kind of
credit
like a catch
cards.
22 that frustrates a
Yeah,
lot of people.
yeah.
That's a good
So,
question. That's a
yep,
really good question.
yep.
That one came out of Texas.
Oh, very
Um,
good.
yeah. So your lease agreement, ID, and that's a really good thing about the establishing. Because what they're mainly looking for is proving that you live in that place, that you're
And have
establishing
a
your residence.
job and can afford to pay for it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Today, nobody,
So
because it's very
bank
hard
statements
today.
are a good one.
Yeah, well,
That's a
that's what I'm
great.
saying, a bank statement
Yeah.
that's coming to your house. But you got to realize today, so many people are fraudulent. They're looking to sue. And you get these people that get into these places and it is so hard to get somebody out of a place. And so you're in there and, okay, so you can't pay your bill. Okay, so they shut it off. But now you could still be living in that place without electricity. I mean, don't ask me how, but I know it's happened even here to certain people. Not better walks of life, but so make sure you've got established some sort of credit. I tell people in your last year of high school, you should be getting one of these credit cards where you give them $500 and they give you a credit card. And you buy
Secured credit
something,
cards.
you
That's what they're
pay it
called.
back. You
Secured
buy
credit cards.
something, you pay it back, and you've established credit. Okay, you got a credit rating. So that is going to help you. But other than that, if you don't
You
go
have
in with
your own
that
bank
stuff,
account.
oh, you have to. Well, yeah.
I would say if you're in high school listening to this, have a bank account, establish a bank account, number one, and also that secured credit card.
Yep. And
So
that'll put
and most banks usually will have secured credit cards to where you can establish your credit that way. Then by the time, if you're a junior in high school, you're 16, by the time you're 18, you'll have credit established. You'll have and you'll have your bank, and hopefully you'll be working at least part-time. And usually probably the easiest job to get as a high schooler is serving tables or lifeguarding. So those are usually staples, well, at least here in California.
Yeah, not on the East Coast.
Yeah, not on the East Coast. Maybe shoveling snow.
Shoveling snow, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you have that, then you can get your utilities. Next.
That's it. Because all the other ones are repeats.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
but there's time.
Those are some great questions, things that, we've touched on, but it's a question around the subject.
They were very, very specific on some of those. So those were really good points. We encourage you to ask more questions.
Yes, please.
Those were DM'd to me through Instagram.
Awesome.
And so you can also go to Unpopular Playground on our Instagram and DM us questions there, or put them here in the community. Eventually we'll go comments. We'll eventually go back to, and I'll upload all of our podcasts to the audio. It's audio only, but we've been mostly focusing on the video because people connect more with video than they do audio. So our main platform is here on YouTube. And on that happy note, we're done with season. No, we still got one more. We're going to wrap it up, but we're done with our Q&A.
Right.
We're done with our Q&A.
Well, guys, continue sending questions and comments and directing your friends to our podcasts. And something comes up and it strikes a nerve, and you go, I'm going to write it down, and then shoot us a line, and we'll be more than willing to help and guide you through.
You don't want to talk to your parents, or because and that's just a fact of life. Some people feel comfortable asking questions about life, not to their parents, because we all think our parents are dumb at that age. You need to have some reliable source from people that know how to adult, that's been there, that's experienced, that can actually get you the right information. If we research all of our information with credible resources, and we're going to have these tools here for you. So, so that's I encourage you to ask us and to reach out.
Yeah, consider us as your lifeline to becoming an adult.
Yep, the adulting specialists. And that happy note, as you like to say, I love that. We always end on happy notes.
Yes.
I will say, stay curious.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you for our next podcast on our wrap-up.
Yeah, bye.
If you're all about staying curious and having fun, you're in the right place. Follow us here, the Unpopular Playground. Make sure to share this with your young adult and high school friends. Don't forget you can reach out to us direct on Insta at Unpopular Playground 1791 with your questions, or even just to say hi. Stay curious and see you next episode.